Welcome to the channel, everyone. Yeah, you can see I got a lawnmower engine in front of me here. This is actually an engine from my uncle's old lawnmower. It was sitting in a little scrap yard thing, just kind of rotting away. So I dug this thing out, actually got it running. It seems to run okay. So this thing, I'm going to try to swap this. It's a 12.5 horse Briggs. So the idea is I'm going to swap this into that little 42-inch pole mower that I had. I've got that all tore up. I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, I'm going to kind of basically, this should just bolt on and be a bolt-on deal, except for this has got like electric start and stuff. The other motor didn't. You had to pull start. So I'm going to need things like batteries and a little bit of wiring, and one battery and a little bit of wiring and starter solenoid, stuff that mower didn't have. I'm going to try to rob it off the mower. I'm going to try to rob all that stuff off the mower. Hopefully to save myself some money. Right now I'm messing around with the exhaust. I pulled the muffler off the original motor that was on that mower, that pole mower, and this is it. The bolts come out really easily, so I thought, all right, I'm going to be able to swap mufflers and the bolts won't snap on me. I didn't want to mess with it because I knew the bolt was going to snap on me. You can see this muffler, it's got this like big tailpipe. It ain't gonna work. It won't work with that pole mower because there's no room. It needs something that's kind of flat like this. Anyway, the muffler come off the old motor just fine, obviously. Why wouldn't it? This mower, I broke a stud, or I broke the bolt off. They're not studs, they're bolts. They're long bolts like this with a shoulder bolt. And yeah, so I broke it off. Right now, you can see I've got a nut welded on it, letting it cool down. Hopefully it's gonna come out. If it don't come out, this is, you can see, I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's threaded. This exhaust is threaded with pipe thread. I believe that's a 1-inch. Anyway, you can get mufflers that just screw into that. So I'm going to mess around with this, trying to get this out for a short time. If it don't come out, I'm just going to get one of those screw-on mufflers, be done with it. The carburetor is right here on this motor. The other motor, the carburetor was on the opposite side of the exhaust. They're right next to each other. So it's kind of a different motor design. That was an 8 horse. This is a 12.5. Should run that mower way better. I've seen guys do videos on these swaps. They don't offer a whole lot of information, so I'm going to try to give a bunch of information here if someone wants to do this. So these mowers, there's a shaft that comes out of them on the bottom side. Okay, so that's a vertical. This is a vertical shaft mower, a motor, and that's what most mowers have. And underneath them, you're going to find this pulley setup. So this has got 2 pulleys on it because it's running the mower. The bottom one runs the mower deck. The top one runs the transmission on these. So I only need 1 pulley because all I'm doing is turning the mower blades. This is a 1-inch keyed shaft. So those of you that don't know, see that slot right here? Right here, there's a slot. And a little piece of metal goes in there. It basically locks the shaft, locks it on the shaft so it can't spin on the shaft. That's what a keyed shaft is. So I don't, this is 1 inch. This is a 1 inch keyed shaft. It's a little over 3 inches. That seems to be very common on lawnmowers. I was hoping it would be the same, and it looks to me like it's the same. The other motor was a 1 inch keyed shaft, little over 3 inches. So theoretically, I should be able to swap the spacers, put the pulley on, bolt it on. Everything should be the same. Bolt pattern on these mowers. So this appears again to be the same as the other one. I'm not a small engine expert. Like I said, I'm just trying to give information that others don't give when they do this kind of videos. Bolt pattern seems to be the same on these things. You have there's a narrower bolt pattern and a wider bolt pattern. So it will only go one way. You can't really spin it. You could drill your own holes. This motor has threaded motor mounts. The motor I took off I believe there was just a bolt. A bolt just went up and there's a nut on it. So I don't know if I'll just I'll just bolt in. I don't know. We'll see here as I go. But like I said, just trying to give you guys information when you're trying to do a swap or you're messing with your mower or whatever. But yeah, this motor's a little oily, which has got me a little concerned that the gasket here might be leaking. I don't know. Oil was pretty dirty. I changed it. But yeah, it's like I said, I got some video of it running, seemed to run okay. So we're gonna give her a go. Okay, so I tried to get that stud out. I'm not messing with it anymore. I'm just gonna put a screw on muffler, which I think is gonna work out better. I think the other kind of muffler would have been quieter, but I ain't messing with it anymore. It ain't worth my time here. So I'll show you the bolt pattern. Here's the mower all disassembled, but I'll show you the bolt pattern on here. You can see these are closer together than these ones. So I'm going to attempt to drop this engine on here, get it bolted on this engine plate is what I call it. This whole plate unbolts. I got it sitting on there so it don't move around on me while I try to get this motor on there. Once I get the motor on here and bolt it on, I'll probably I'll kind of flip it on its side a little bit, and we'll get the pulleys and spacers and stuff on the shaft. So I'm going to get to it. Okay, so the motor bolted up just fine once you figure out the narrow and the wide pattern. Bolted up just fine. I had to use my own bolts because the ones that come with it are these ones right here. Well, the ones that were on the mower right here, and they're too long. The mower had like I don't know if them are like motor mount isolators, rubber. I don't know if them are, no, they're just solid spacers, looks like. So anyway, they had it spaced up, so they had a longer bolt. And this bolt, if you look real close, I don't know if you'll be able to tell here. If you look real close, I think this is like a bolt that cuts its own threads. So when they put these in, the motor mount bolts aren't threaded, and when they put this bolt in, it actually threads right into the aluminum of the motor. So I had to use shorter than a 3/8 bolts. So like I said, everything's working out. I'm going to kind of tip this thing on its side, and I'll see if I get my pulley set up on this shaft. Okay, give you a good shot of this pulley system right here. Now this has been messed with. I think it's not exactly sure what happened, but it's been messed with. I got a picture of how it was when I pulled it out. It's 2 inches from the top of this to the bottom of the pulley, which it's the same right now. This is rigged up, I think. I'm not exactly sure why. I know this pulley seems small. It's really small. I don't know what it is, a 3-inch or something. And then it's driving these much bigger. Usually, well, like I said, I'm not a small engine expert, not a mower expert, but usually what I've seen is the pulleys are matched. The engine drives the same pulley as all the other pulleys. They're all matched. A smaller pulley, they say, will slow the blade speed down, but it gives you more torque. And that makes sense when they're trying to run these mowers with like that small 8 horsepower engine. So that kind of makes sense. They want more torque because on the blade, because they're turning it with such a low horsepower engine. This is 12.5, so I probably could put a bigger pulley on here, but it was working fine. I didn't really have any trouble. It was actually doing a decent cut with that junk 8 horsepower, so I'm not going to mess with anything. Just going to put it back. Like I said, there it is. This is a blade belt guide. That actually goes over. It'll be right next to here to keep the belt on the pulley. Once I get the belt on here, there's a bolt. I'll loosen it up and I'll slide it over. So I actually got a brand new belt for this, but this will probably be the last time that I'll be able to show you the underside of this motor plate. So yeah, it's I'm gonna flip it back down before the oil runs all over the place on me in that motor, and probably loosely put my bolts in. I think I can get my belt around that with this thing bolted down. So I'm gonna flip this over and then maybe think about routing my belt. Okay, so there it's bolted down. Got a new belt. Went with a 73 inch. 73 inch. Now I measured like 73 3/4, I think, but the belt felt really loose. So I went with the 73, went a little smaller. It seemed really tight, so I ended up having to. I had to fix this. This is all bent up, and I had to actually adjust that so it was looser. So now when I engage the clutch, it feels a little tighter than before, which I think is a good thing. So yeah, it's all ready. I got my throttle hooked up, so that's ready. Yeah, I got the wiring out of that lawnmower, and it's a bit of a mess. It's been hacked on a tiny bit, but not real bad. Just trying to eliminate all these safeties out of it. I think this is all the safety stuff. The green and blue is the headlights. So I think if I connect this yellow wire and this yellow wire together, and this orange wire and this orange wire together, I should be able to hook this to a battery, plug all this stuff in, and I should be able to make this work. So fingers crossed. With all them safeties, they got wires running everywhere. It's really complicated, seems like, but it's really not that complicated. But before I attach those wires, I'm going to kind of mock all this stuff up to kind of know, you know, what lengths do I need, what do I need to do, and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's all the wire loom and tape I ripped off. So the solenoid, it's got way too big of a battery cable here, but I'm going to keep going and I'll update you when I get a little further. Okay guys, so we're a little further along here. I got my air cleaner and carburetor on there. Now that's the same carburetor that was on the other motor. It was brand new, so I know that was an 8 horse. This is a 12.5. I'll have to see if I can't maybe adjust that. I don't know. I'll have to look up tuning small engines. I got my exhaust. I was gonna buy one. They want like $30 some from one of those mufflers. So some screw-on mufflers. So what I did is we had a 1-inch, like I said, I think that's 1-inch piece of pipe. I screwed that in there, figured out where it was going to be when it was tight, and then I this bracket, this piece right here that's welded onto the pipe was actually on the other motor. I'm not sure, it was like an extension. Maybe it got the muffler out of the way. Didn't really look it over, but anyway, it was on there. So I welded that onto there, and I can bolt this muffler onto there, and then it's kind of a big thing hanging off a shaking motor. So it had a support on this muffler, so it was down there, but there was a bolt hole right here, so I just kind of made this setup to hold it. It should keep it from wanting to unscrew. You know, this turning should keep it from turning too. So there's enough room under there. It shouldn't hit the bottom, so hopefully, I don't know how bad it's going to shake. This motor didn't seem to shake too bad. So coming around to this side, so I mounted my solenoid right there. Just, I don't know, just a convenient place, seemed like. Short cable to my starter. These cables were actually, it was on the mower, and it was really long. So I just cut it in 2 pieces, and I got my starter wire, and then I got the wire that's going to go to a battery. Here's the positive and negative to the battery. It goes there. This is self-tapping, so it's grounded to that, and then this is grounding the motor. There's a ground to the motor, so it should be really grounded. So shouldn't have any trouble there. Probably going to mount a small battery here for now. And yeah, I run the wires through. There's a little hole here. Might have to put some tape on this one here so it don't chafe. But I got loom on these wires. So on the motor here, there's only like 2 connections. Right here, which I believe is the stator. It's got a heavy gauge wire coming out of it, but then they really narrow it down. This actually, it went to the headlights. So I don't even know if I really even need that, but I left it in there. And then you got this wire coming out of here, which is the coil, I believe. So there's only like 2, well, then you got the ground to the motor. So there's like 3 connections to the motor. I put these on there just to cover up the solenoid connections. one of these is going to be live power all the time. Then the other one will be live when you turn the key, but never good to have live wires, positive wires uncovered. So here's some covers on them. This is actually the only thing that kind of makes this setup look new. Otherwise, it's looking pretty original. I got all my wiring under here. For now, I just got it up against here. I'll tie it up. I probably could shorten a whole bunch of that. I don't need it probably that long. I don't need that much wires, but I'm not going to spend the time right now. I want to see this thing actually doing some work before I spend tedious time like that on there. The switch is right here. So there's the switch. So I should be able to reach the switch here. Then I have to I gotta run the choke right here by hand. I don't have a cable, but I figure it's easy enough with this electric start. Having another throttle cable is just another cable, I think, in my way. So I can do that. I can push that, and I can turn the key. I think we're going to be okay. So things I'm lacking right now, the fuel tank bolted. See them 4 holes there? There's a couple brackets. I had to weld this up. This covers the fuel tank, and it was all cracked up, so I welded it up quick. Throw some paint on it right now, just letting it dry. These are the risers that raise the fuel tank up because it's like gravity feed into that carburetor. So the fuel tank I got in here, it has seen better days. This is the fuel line I was using, but it had a really bad crack all the way around it here, all the way around. And I used this supposedly gas tank repair stuff, and some of it seems sticky yet. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it worked or not. I'm gonna try it, and then if that don't work, I might try it again and see if I can't get it to work. If I can't get it to stop leaking, I might just get the different setup, find a whole different fuel tank. But yeah, that's I can get that on that bracket as soon as it's dry, probably tomorrow. I don't know if I got enough fuel line to go. I didn't really want to go across this muffler. See, on this engine, the muffler and the fuel carburetor is on the same side, and the fuel tank's going to be back here. I didn't really want to drape my fuel line across that muffler, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I could go up. No, I can't go up because it's gravity feed. I don't know what I'm going to do with the fuel line. I'll figure it out and then I'll show you, but it's getting real close to being able to fire this thing up and let the blades run and see what she'll do. Okay, so I just put like an exhaust shield on here. It probably needs one more mount on the front side, but I'm going to leave it there. I want to see this thing mowing before I keep working on it. So this is actually a shield that was on the lawnmower, and I just kind of bent it up a little bit to do what I needed to do there, and I think it should be okay. I'm going to put some like heat tape around my fuel line right there, and hopefully it's going to work out. So I'm going to get my fuel tank on here and run my fuel line. Okay, so I got my fuel tank brackets on there. Also got a battery there with just some bungees holding it on. So you got a new starter as well. The other one was spinning, but it wouldn't come up and engage the flywheel. I had to manually pull it up. So I was testing that. That's why there's a battery in there. Working good. So I guess the final thing here is the fuel tank and a fuel line here. I patched this up. I had some fuel in it, and it's really not holding. So happened to stumble across a tank that's the exact same thing. This is actually a Murray fuel tank for a Murray mower, I guess. It must have been pretty popular because they make replacements. So I picked one of those up, so I ain't gotta worry about leakage. So yeah, I'm gonna get that on. There's two deals on each side to screw in. It's just a screw. So I got my cover here ready to go on. That goes on top of it to kind of protect it. Oh yeah, got a new air filter here, and then I've also got some 3/8 pins. I actually only need one pin, but that's for the center pin that holds the drawbar. Someone just put a bolt on it and it's way too long, and I just want to put a pin in there, so I ain't got to worry about it falling out. So I'm going to get the rest of this together, and then we'll probably see if she fires up. Okay, fuel tank is in. I like it a lot better than that old crappy fuel tank. Hopefully the new one will hold up. New air filter. Got a nice pre-filter on it. Whole lot better than this junk. So get my cover back on there. Okay, got my fuel line here. You can see I got the heat shield here. I've got some heat wrap stuff here on the fuel line. It's not touching that guard, so I think we'll be okay. I had to make this little guy here, this little piece here, to hold the fuel line up off of that guard. Got my shut off here. It still works. Fuel filter and stuff. So I think we're ready to fire this thing up. So drop some fuel in it, let the fuel run into the carb there, and fire this thing up. Alrighty, so here we go, guys. Gonna run the choke by hand here. Well, so far so good. Now we gotta go out and test everything.
riding high on my Z-track throne, king of the yard, this turf's my own. Sweat on my brow, dirt on my hands, turning this jungle into promised land. Mowing grass like a boss, cutting fast, kicking grass's ass, it'll never last. Hot sun blazing, but I don't care. Riding my deer, when I'm done, everyone stares. Blade spinning sharp, they hum my song. Each pass I make, the weeds are gone. A green striped canvas beneath my feet. Yard work's an art, it can't be beat. It's not just work, it's how I play. This mower's my ride, my getaway. Mowing grass like a boss, cutting fast, kicking grass's ass, it'll never last. Hot sun blazing, but I don't care. Riding my deer, when I'm done, everyone stares. Neighbors peek out, they can't compete. Their lawns bow down to my elite seat. The engine roars a battle cry. This turf's my kingdom, and I'm the guy. Mowing grass like a boss, cutting fast, kicking grass's ass, it'll never last. Hot sun blazing, but I don't care. Riding my deer, when I'm done, everyone stares.
Well, so there it is, guys. Probably got 2.5 hours of run time on this, so seems like it's gonna hold up. I noticed running it with my Z-Track, it doesn't have a far enough offset for a 60-inch mower. So it's probably supposed to be paired with like a 42 or something like that. It's yeah, it doesn't. I need like 6 more inches. I need to like move my hitch over 6 more inches for this thing to run right. Yeah, it's another thing I think it needs more blade speed. So it needs a bigger pulley on it. I may try that. I'm comparing the cut to a professional or a commercial mower, and this probably never will cut as nice as the John Deere. But I think a little more blade speed would help it out. So I may swap a bigger pulley on that on the engine there, so it gets more blade speed. So another thing I think this could benefit from is more anti-scalp rollers. It's got one like up front here. It really needs some in the rear. Thinking about putting one maybe in the center of this. Now normally from the factory there's a cover that goes over the back here, because that blade, this blade right here, I think gets pretty close to the edge. You stick your foot under there, it'd be a nasty surprise, but Yeah, I don't use it around people or anything. It's just me. So I guess, guys, that's going to do it for this one. It does work. I think it could work a little better with a few tweaks here and there. But yeah, it is running again. Running and it's usable. So it's pretty neat. I think I got maybe $50 in this because I had to buy the starter, and then I bought the new fuel tank. So yeah, not much in it, and I had all the other parts. So I had that little battery and stuff like that. So I'm not counting that. I already did these wheels, the airless wheels, before, so I didn't count that either. But just to do a motor swap, I guess I got about $50 in this thing. So I'll link the stuff that I used. I'll try to link some stuff, and if you want to go check it out, I'll link that fuel tank, starter. I know there's a couple different starters for these Briggs motors, so you got to get the right one. One's further away, I guess, than the other, but I'll link the one that I used. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I'll see you.